Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I will be showing you how I used ghee to make this amazing butter cake. Stay tuned till the end. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in an empty bowl and over a sieve, I will be pouring in 2¼ cups of flour, 1/4 cup of corn starch. So I took my 1/4 cup and I measured the 1/4 cup of cornstarch and I pour it there as well. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Because I want my baking soda to stay fresh, I leave it in the refrigerator, but I make sure it's in a Ziploc bag as well. Then I sieve everything, and that made up my dry ingredients. I just made sure everything went through, and I use a spoon to just mix so everything gets incorporated and everything gets combined. So in a standalone mix, I'll be adding 1 cup of ghee. Like I said earlier, ghee is clarified butter, so it has less of liquid as compared to butter. Then 1 cup of brown sugar, and with my paddle attachment, I whisk the two of them together. Just continue to watch. And as I whisk, I make sure I stop to scrape the sides because I want to make sure everything gets incorporated, everything gets combined, every single grain gets combined. If you're here for your first time, I am Patty G's Cakes and Treats, creating contents on cakes, pastries, and everything in between. You're going to love it right here as I share videos every week. So I continue to mix. Now let me show you how the consistency looks like. I love how it's coming on nicely and seeming cloudy. That's the texture you want, right? So I just cleaned around and I continue to mix because again, you want the mix to be very fluffy and cloudy feeling. So I will be adding 1 cup butterscotch pudding. You have a cup of butterscotch pudding, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notification bell for future uploads. That's how we grow the channel, that's how I grow. So I added 1 cup of butterscotch pudding. Then it was time for me to add 3 eggs, 1 at a time, just making sure everything is combining as it is supposed to be. Just continue to watch. And don't forget, you have to keep stopping to scrape the sides because you want everything to get incorporated. Let's continue to mix. Now I'll be alternating my buttermilk with my dry ingredients. So I first added the buttermilk and now I'm pouring in the dry ingredients. Now I'm adding 1 teaspoon nutmeg and 3 teaspoons butter flavor. You can get a liquid one from Amazon, but I got this one from Cameroon, and Cameroonians get it from a Nigerian vendor. So the taste or the flavor is so good. So I continued to mix. I stopped to scrape the sides. I added the milk as well as I added the dry ingredients. I just continue to mix. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notification bell for future uploads. So like I said earlier, it was more about alternating the milk and the dry ingredients. Once that was done, I mixed for a little bit, just making sure everything gets incorporated, everything gets combined. So I was using my spatula to make sure everything was okay. I continued to mix the dough. At this point in time, I set my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was preheating. And I continued the mixing with my spatula. You don't want to overmix because you don't want too much air in your cake. So I already greased my cake pan and poured some flour over that. So I will be pouring in the batter in my cake pan. Just continue to watch. Yep. If you have watched to this point, I am so grateful. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video, and please do try this recipe and let me know how the recipe turned out. So everything is all ready. I tapped the cake pan to release any air bubbles. I put it in the oven for about 50 to 55 minutes, or when a toothpick inserter comes out dry. So I was ready to flip that over. This was a very easy release. That's how the cake looks like. I put it over a cake stand so I could slice through. Yeah. I'm using a knife. I did dig in, my favorite part of any video. So I cut the cake. It looked so moist and tasted so moist. Look at that. Please let me know you'll be trying this recipe in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching this video till this point. I am truly grateful. And don't forget to comment ghee. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, life can get bitter. Eat cakes to make it sweet. Until next time, bye.